Hey guys, so I've been offline for a little bit and I've been doing some contemplating and kind of assessing some different things. I've mentioned it a few times before. I wanted to start doing a little bit more traveling, and so I'm kind of taking that a step further, and I was kind of like assessing like all the stuff I got around me. So I decided that I was going to start traveling full time. I kind of decided that I was going to do this back, you know, when my lease ended, but I'm gonna try to do it like a little bit sooner here. So currently selling like all my stuff that I can't travel with, and kind of weighing everything. And so I've been spending a lot of time doing that. That's why I haven't really been doing videos lately, is I've been kind of going through all my things. And so I'm getting rid of all this stuff, kind of been reassessing things. There's a lot of things I put a lot of value in. I don't necessarily place as much value in now. Like I brought a ton of high-end specialty tools from America over here, and specialty tools from America over here. I'm like, I'm not going to use these things really. Like it just makes sense just to hire somebody to do it. It's just everything's so cheap here. So I figure I would rather have some of that money like investing or making money or compounding. And I've kind of been developing a strategy where I have three platforms that I'm kind of focusing in now. I'm going to start getting into like a lot of other ones, and so I'm going to start doing some videos on a bunch of other platforms I'm getting into. But all these newer platforms I'm going to be getting into from now on, like I'm trying to start off small, like maybe $1,000 or nothing real big. But arbitraging, Chain, and Dropple have been doing really well for me lately, and so I'm just kind of focusing on those ones. All three of them seem to be doing pretty well. Like Chain just really jumped way up. So gosh, I can't even remember what I bought in with Chain, but I bought into Chain real cheap, and it's at about $1 right now. So Chain blowing up was like, and holding the coins, because if the coin goes up and you're in like the lending aspect, like you don't feel the appreciation of the coin. So the arbitraging coin has also been going up. I think that we're see probably it break the $10 price point again, just kind of with the way things are going. So I'm hoping for good things on those, and gonna be getting in. I've got a strategy of kind of everything I'm doing, but I can it's not prohibiting me from picking up and moving and traveling places. So that's the plan. I got a lot of cool places I want to check out. So got a strategy and everything. I've got a little scale. I'm weighing like everything I've got to basically reassess whether I'm taking with me. So I'm gonna have 3, maybe 4 bags I'll be traveling with. So a few places I'm looking at going. Phu Quoc is an island between Vietnam and Cambodia, and it's like it's a beautiful place right on the beach right there. So probably gonna spend some time out there. There's Vung Tau, which is like kind of this beach town outside of Saigon. It's really beautiful. Like you can take like a boat tour there. So I might do like a video on that if I do that. I'm gonna be in Da Nang, Vietnam, at the beginning of this year. I have plans to kind of travel, a few other places, but I want to head into China. Want to spend some time there, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and honestly, like, if I'm traveling full time, like if I just get tired of where I'm staying, I'm just going to move on to the next place, and that's kind of my plan. Like, I mean, I've been in my apartment now for like, what has it? It's been about like 8 months. Like I'm already, itching to get out of here. So I'm gonna be trying to find somebody to take over my apartment here in Vietnam, and then, but even if I don't, like I still might take like little mini vacations kind of like nearby here, because everything's so cheap. Like you get a plane ticket to Phu Quoc from Saigon for like $50. It's real cheap. Really what is expensive is the bags. So if you're bringing a lot of weight, weight is a big thing. So that's why I have to really, go through all of my things and weigh them. And it's like, is it really worth $100, US dollars to bring, this 40, 50 pounds of stuff, and those are some hard decisions I got to make. Because I basically, when I was over in America coming over here. I made like, I don't know, 3 or 4 trips. I got all my stuff from America here. You know, the only things I have in America are my diving gear. I spent all this money on all this diving gear and all my power tools, which wouldn't even work over here in Asia. So those are just sitting up in my mom's attic. But other than that, everything else I've got is over here. So I'm gonna have to get rid of everything. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So all the monitors, all the computers, I'm gonna set up like some portable LCD screens and probably get some more laptops. Like I've got kind of a mobile setup with like an iPad and you know, I've got my iMac, I've got a gamer laptop that's working pretty well. And looking at some other travel options, like some travel screens and whatnot. Yeah, I was thinking of traveling full time as well. Should just cash out everything and roll around. I mean, that's the thing is like, I was kind of looking at some articles here where people were kind of comparing some of the costs of doing this. And like, that's one of the things I put on the screen here was like, I mean, here's an article right here. I think that was kind of interesting. It just came up. It's like the first one. This woman, I guess, that decided to do it here. But this was a recent one, and so. But you know, step one is basically sell everything. You know, create an income flow. If you have an income flow through crypto, I mean, you can become, you know, essentially kind of like a world citizen, a world traveler. You know, reviewing your travels. Utilize travel resources, so there's things, you know, things that you can, that are help or whatever, stick to a budget. I mean, those are kind of, you know, but I mean, the big ones here, you know, sell everything, create an income flow. And I think that's going to be a good thing for me. So expat insurance, you know, having a mailing address. So maybe I get like a mailbox here in Saigon. I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure, you know, what would I need a mailing address for? I'm not really sure. Staying in touch, I think this might be even kind of dated. Like, I mean, the way that I've got so many different apps that I stay in touch with people in different ways. Work-life balance, getting rid of your stuff, seller to rent, managing money, loan payments, packing light. Lightening your load really does make your journey easier. You're compromising. You just have to. So that's the thing I'm kind of dealing with, kind of going through all this taxes. I don't even want to look at that. Refilling prescriptions, fuck vaccinations, withdrawals. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty like, you know, some of the stuff is like, let's see if I can visit this here. This was from like someone did this. This is the picture that I have on my thumbnail. There was someone, they did this in like 2015 for the whole year. You know, we're able to only spend $7 grand on, you know, accommodations. They have, oh, I guess this is different. It's different because the other one had Peru on it. But yeah, oh, I guess, or maybe it was one of these different ones. It was like 2016, I think. But you can see all the different places, you know, they were staying. A few weeks here, a few weeks there. So, I mean, that's my plan is I'm just going to go somewhere and like, you know, I don't think it's going to be something where I'm going to want to move like every day or every few days. I mean, who knows? Like, it depends. But I mean, my plan was maybe to go someplace for like a week or two. And like some of these places, like the place in Fukuoka, it's like you get like a 4-star hotel right on the beach for like $20 a night. I mean, it's like like I'm gonna show you guys some amazing places and tell you guys how much like I'm paying to stay there. You'd be pretty amazed. So there's some really cool spaces, really cool like the nature, especially in the north of Vietnam. I'm gonna go check that out. Like the biggest cave in the world that I guess was kind of like recently found or something. Maybe it's like really hard to get to, anyway, it's a really interesting place there. I wanted to go there and do some videos. I'm a big fan of waterfalls, so you know there's some nature places around. So yeah, that's kind of my thing. And on top of that, like I've got a lot of open invitations to go different places. So Jakarta, Busan, South Korea, Moscow. Taiwan, Philippines. So I've got some open invitations to go some different places. So Tron, yeah, I've been seeing like some of the stuff that's on Tron, like the Tron dApps, really kind of like, I think I'm gonna sit on the sidelines, because the only one that everyone's kind of promoting, the FOMO Tron dApp, I don't see that as like the FOMO style contracts. It's going to have like an initial adoption period, but it has to be sustained. So there has to be people that are wanting to buy into that contract. I just don't see that happening. And I see it just dying off at some time. So if you weren't in that contract early, which now is not early, like you needed to be in it before, I don't see, if you're putting Tron into that you're going to come out with more Tron. Now the part of the justification behind that is you're just getting in Tron, and the potential for Tron to do much better than Ethereum is much higher, and I would really agree with that. But I think there's going to be a better Tron dApp that's going to come out in the near future, maybe the next few months, and I want to get into that one. I don't know about. I think I might stay on the sidelines for the Tron, at least that FOMO dApp. You can come back home. Where's home? Conference in Vegas? No, it's too far. Too risky to go to the US. Yeah, like some of the prices for some of the places you can stay out here. Like, I mean, there's a really nice, like when I was staying here, there's a really nice hotel. It's right around the corner. You can stay there for, I think it's about $14. You know, it's pretty close to the airport. Like, I mean, it's like the apartment I'm staying in is one of the nicest. I mean, this is one of the nicest places here, like in Vietnam. So, you know, I mean, people don't realize how poor it is, kind of as a whole of the city. You know, there's certain areas that are a little bit more like gentrified in a way. They have kind of newer projects and developments. So, you know, you're going to get like maybe more expats in some of those, but I don't see as many expats here. Not in this part of the city. They're more like downtown or in this place called District 2, which is on the other side of the river, because there's a lot of newer developments over there. There's a place called Tao Dien, which is, it's like, that's where they have this kind of American university. It's like an English-speaking university, so like that's a big area for that. But yeah, that's kind of my plan. I've got a lot of like political videos that I've been mentioning, I've been kind of working on, and so, you know, some of the stuff might be controversial or might stir up some debate, you know. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to see like when I'm gonna be ready to kind of release some of that stuff. I've been kind of focused on just downsizing right now. So, but that's about it. Like NovaChain, Arbitraging, Dropple, doing really good. Sticking with those, and looking at a lot of other projects. So let me see if I can kind of mention, see what you guys think about. One of the things I should mention was the Zethr contract. So the Zethr contract, apparently, like I found out about this through Jason with Daily Divs, as I was just talking to him about Daily Divs, and he was, you know, kind of mentioning what had happened with Zethr. I mean, the volume in Zethr and Linea like dropped to zero. Like there was like no volume. So there was still a lot of ETH in the contract. So there's still like 4,700 ETH in the Zethr contract. It's just like, it was kind of over that initial adoption period, and then you know, I mean, it just the volume in that contract really died. The games weren't really being utilized, they weren't really being adopted, and the devs just decided that it wasn't worth the legal hassle and some of the stuff they were really trying to do to make that platform legit with the volume as low as it is. So they decided to fold up shop, and then that kind of created a mass exodus of people getting out of that contract. So I sold out you know, when there was like 2,100 ETH in that contract, so when it had already gone down by more than half. But you know, so I made a lot of divs and was able to pull out. So I didn't lose too much of my value in there, but it's unfortunate to see that project kind of die out. And then the Linea, when that happened, I think you started seeing that in a lot of other smart contracts. A lot of the smart contracts started going down, and maybe people were pulling out. Like daily divs went way down. I pulled out of some of the other smart contracts I'm in, just focused. Like daily divs is the only smart contract, and that and Mobius 2D. I want to get into Party. I know that's launching like today or now, or I'm not sure how what that is, but that one looks like an interesting project. I'm supportive of that. It seems to be a good community and seems to be doing things the right way. And I like what Tony's doing. He's managing the project, and so. But yeah, I need to get into that one. I'm in the Evo AI, so I'm gonna be doing a giveaway with Evo AI. I've got some tokens, so I'm gonna be posting some rules for that pretty soon, and doing that. But that looks like another one, another project that's got a lot of potential. I got a little bit into Crystal Token. Crystal Token's like, you know, probably one I'm gonna up to maybe like $1,000 worth of money in that one. So that one seems to have some sustainability behind it. I'm still kind of looking into it, but I'm willing to go at a smaller level. There's a few other contracts I'm kind of like looking in and talking with a few different people about some other platforms, but I think one of the things is just kind of getting myself personally ready to kind of do what it is I'm trying to do, and so I need to kind of focus a little bit more kind of what I'm doing. I like the diversification into a lot of different projects. Unfortunately, like the three big ones I'm in right now are main Ethereum based. I mean, you can get into Bitcoin with arbitraging and Dropple. Can't do that with Novachain yet, but I know they've got the Bitcoin wallet on there. So you know, you're kind of in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and so there's kind of like with the Tron dApps and some of the other ones, ETC Classic and Neo, and like there's Arc. There's a lot of other platforms that kind of have the ability to do those next generation dApps on there. Whether or not they get adopted, it's kind of another thing. Let's take a look at dApp Radar. I haven't looked at dApp Radar in a while, but like there's a few that are interesting that I've seen some stuff on. But it's really back to the top of kind of where we're at normally. We're normally used to seeing IDEX and Fork Delta in the top two positions as far as like exchanges goes. It's interesting to see the 3.3 ETH project as high as it is and is doing as well as it is. You know, I need to look up a little bit more on that, but again, that seems to be one that there was a time, you can see like the volume's way down. See right there, zoom in, 66. So the volume's way down. I'm not sure if that's gonna be the best one to get into now, but it's gonna cycle, so I guess when the contract crashes again, it might be another good time to get in. And 200%, I was looking into this one a little bit. Some of these high return contracts. Like I saw Time is Crypto do a video on this like ETH Forever, like the ETH Forever contract, which looked interesting because it was a variable between 1% and 10%, and it was a very simple contract, and it adjusted based on the amount of people getting into the contract. And he put a bunch of ETH in there. I think he put like 26 ETH in there, so he's pretty bullish on that. You know, I like the idea of that contract. Like there's the one that Jason did which was like 0.5%. That seems to be a little bit more sustainable. So, you know, those are contracts that, like, I think if you set something up like that where it has a sustainable kind of payout system, and you do something to support it, whether like making it so that it's like not zero sum, that seems to be a good way, because otherwise you're playing a zero-sum game and just kind of hoping that you got in early. So that might be the case with like the daily divs contracts. There's nothing currently really supporting that. That's why I didn't really put much in there. I think I still got like 5 ETH in there though. I'm interested in those style of contracts because like they, you know, as you've seen with like the 333 ETH, like at 3.3%, like, I mean, people like getting into that stuff. I mean, it's like gambling in a way. So some of those, like, maybe if you have a few ETH and you kind of want to gamble a little bit and you want to play around, like those might be some interesting contracts to kind of try out. I just haven't really had the time to really kind of dive into too much of those, so I'm kind of sticking with what I know and just kind of focusing on that right now. Yeah, Dropple, the thing about Dropple is let's talk about that for a sec. So here's my Dropple account, and I'm gonna be getting way more in Dropple. I have a ton of Dropple right now, but you can see like the price is like way down. And the one thing I was kind of noticing is like, see these dips right here? So these are the payout dips. Now, I don't know if these are different for everyone or if it's just me that this is happening to. Like if the time periods, I guess, the 15-day time periods are different for other people, or you know, if there's some sort of standardization. I don't really understand that, but anyways, like during those periods, you're seeing it really drop. It dropped right here in the last period, and then here we're coming up. You know, so I've got like 1 day to kind of, you know, and I'm going to be dropping a ton of Dropple into this, but the price is way down. So perhaps might be beneficial for me to hold on to those drops and wait for the next cycle to put those in. Perhaps I get a better price on that. I don't know, because basically it's in drops, and I don't like, it's in drops. So I don't think that really plays a part. So if you have drops, you might as well have them in there, unless you're planning on trading them on the different exchanges, which, you know, I might do that a little bit, but the majority of my Dropple, I guess, would probably be better off in DEX. Like, that's not currently what I'm doing with Novachain and Arbitraging. Is I have more in Arb and Nova in the coins than I do in the lending aspect, and that's the strategy you want to have if you're bullish on the price of the coin. So the price of that coin goes way up. It can do better than, you know, the daily payouts of having it in that system. And the other thing is, if the price, you know, does go up, you're getting less of the coins back, right? So that's another thing I'm kind of looking at, is like, you know, maybe it'd be better just to like with arbitraging, like I'm holding a lot of ARB tokens. What if I just kind of sold, you know, just a little bit off, just a little bit I need to like travel or to pay some of my bills or whatever. Maybe that's a better strategy than having it in the ABOT. If the ABOT is, the interest rates are continuing to kind of go down and the price of the coin is going up and you're getting less of those coins back. Like if I put 1,000 tokens in, you know, how long is it going to take me to get those 1,000 tokens back in ARB from the ABOT, right? So this was something that we were kind of seeing with like BCC in a way, with the price rise of the coin. So so my play is, like, I'm seeing a lot of people that are kind of getting into the ABOT or starting to kind of get into MBOT and whatnot. And I think that maybe having the approach of holding more in the token or the coin is a good strategy if you perceive that it's going to go up in value. It is limited. There's only 8 million with ARB. With Novachain, I don't know enough about Novachain in terms of like the statistics on their coin. I don't know how many total Nova there is or how that works. So I'm a little ignorant on that. Maybe someone can educate me. MBOT is hard to master. ABOT has no real solid proof. Novachain, very shady. Yeah, I think those are very valid concerns, for sure. USDT takes 1% off trade profits with MBOT. Are you in Lapo? I think I heard a little bit about that. I haven't. I'm not in it, but I'd be willing to look into it. But yeah, I think that's about it for me. So yeah, if you don't hear from me for a while, it's kind of like I'm working on traveling here and just getting things set up for that. So probably gonna be throwing away a lot of my stuff because it's just like when it comes down to it, it's not worth it trying to trade it. And if it's just like a few $100s worth of stuff, I'm just gonna chuck it and see where it goes. But setting up a mobile office, trying that out, kind of traveling, some short distances here to kind of test it out, and then just kind of open it up and put a bunch of places on my list of. No, I would never stay at a hostel. Like I can't. No, just my stuff's too valuable. But I'd be willing to do something like a shared Airbnb. Like I'll probably be doing a lot of Airbnb. I like those a little bit better. Where can you contact me? Crypto Clover at Gmail, Clover Crypto at Clover Crypto on Telegram. Those are two good ways. But all right, guys, appreciate y'all staying online. I'll catch you on the next one.